Welcome to the Fourth Step Podcast. On each episode, we interview recovering addicts and learn their story with addiction. Through exploring personal journeys, we get a glimpse of the depths addicts fall to and their path in recovery. We hope you enjoy the episode. Welcome to the Fourth Step Podcast. My name is Kevin, and I am an addict.
Hello, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Hi, guys. And with me today is our lovely co-host,
Josh, addict.
Hi, Josh.
Hey.
And today we have our friend.
Gabe, I'm an addict.
What's up, Gabe?
How's it going?
You see him like
Want
move
lean
forward
in
to the
forward,
mic.
but I know
Yeah.
it's good.
No, we're
Where I'm
good.
at.
You don't have to do anything.
Okay.
I'll pick you up right where you're at.
Yeah. Welcome.
What's your clean
Thank
date?
My clean date is April 28th of 2015.
Right on.
Nice. How many years?
10 years. Going on 11 in April.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it your
Cool.
first clean date?
No, I've had several clean dates.
Me too.
Since, late 90s.
Okay.
I was going through some things, and of course, using, and I had this CPS came in and tried to tell me that I wasn't a good parent. Well, they actually told me I wasn't a good parent, so of course they took the kids, and that's where I started learning. First learned about anybody getting clean, and anywhere, anything, AA, NA, any of those, and that's when I first heard about this stuff. I didn't think anybody got clean for artists back in the day.
On purpose. I like that.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I am 59 years old. I said 58. I just turned 59.
Well, happy birthday.
Well, thank
See,
you.
we're the same age.
Yeah.
I just turned 60.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. You look a lot younger than me.
Oh, thank you. There's a lot of drug use.
He says thank you.
Yeah, the drugs preserved him.
Yeah, right.
So a lot of drug use. I tell my family, like, oh, you still look young. I'm like, oh, thanks. I used a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so you know the story about what we do here, and
We
you
typically
listen-
jump right into it.
Yeah, you listen to a
Good.
few episodes.
I've listened to a couple of episodes.
Okay, good.
But I heard on one of them where you guys get people out of the country. Ireland, I think someone said.
We're gonna
said,
go.
It goes
Yeah.
pretty far out there, man. So good job, man.
It's not confirmed yet, but I might be able to tag on with Jen to Ireland. She's going on a business trip.
When?
April.
This year?
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
Man.
But I haven't said anything because it's not confirmed yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be good. And we I've got a couple guys from Ireland that are willing to, and they listen to the podcast.
Yeah,
They're willing to.
that's
So,
awesome.
Tony, I'm talking about you, buddy. I'm coming your way. All right, so let's get started.
Okay.
When you think about events in your childhood that started the trajectory towards the lifestyle of using, like childhood trauma, things that stand out as a kid that you went through that maybe had an impact on the decisions you made that led you to getting loaded. What's the earliest one you can remember? Kind of go from there.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I've heard the podcast, and I've heard people mention that stuff. Mention about how their childhood was, man. And that's the thing about it is that I had a really good childhood, right? I had a time. Both my parents were there. They didn't say I love you all the time, but I knew there was I felt love in the house, the way they treated us. So, but as far as any kind of trauma, man, I don't remember any of it. I just remember I just remember finding out when my brother was adopted, and I just found like there was some kind of a difference of the way they treated me. You know what I mean?
Shit.
Not in a bad way where they're like, "No, get away from here." But I just felt like, and I didn't even understand it at the time. But after I got older, I realized that my brother got to do a lot of more things than I did.
Huh.
Right? Of course, he's the older brother. He did things first, right? He got to play the Pop Warner football. He got to, all the stuff first.
So your parents are your biological parents?
Yes.
And then they adopted your brother?
They adopted my brother
Before
first
you
because
came along,
they thought
yeah.
my mom could not have kids.
Got it.
And then one day she went to the doctor and they said, "Oops, you're pregnant," and a miracle child came.
You're a miracle.
So yeah,
Miracle, Gabe.
So it's just like and at the time I I was like, well, why does he get to do it? You know, and I can't. Why can't I play Pop Warner football? And then, you know, it was just stuff like that, man. And
So you never did get to play?
no, I didn't get the opportunity to play any kind of Pop Warner. But then after, you know, as I got a little older, I lost interest in that. And I guess what it says, I had to have something different, and I thought I had found it in drugs, you know, and because I started at an early age, man.
How early?
And the first time I remember smoking weed was 11 years old, and of course I couldn't do it on a daily basis because I had to be home by this time.
Tell us,
Sun went down?
tell us about that first.
Latchkey kids.
The lights, yeah. So
Tell us about that first time.
the first time I don't remember really what I felt because it was, you know, it was just I just remember smoking it with my friends and man, I don't remember it, right? But it was that like when I was 12 years old, I got to go hang out with some friends and we were you know, we drank some beer and, you know, we smoked some weed, man. And that's when I felt that I liked that feeling, right? I liked doing that.
That's
and
when
hanging
it
with my
clicked
friends.
for you?
That's when
Like,
it clicked
this
for me.
changed the way I feel?
Yeah. And it was just hanging out with my friends, man, not being in the shadow of my brother, right? Not
Right.
being,
Did
you
your
know what I'm saying?
brother also?
He smoked weed one time, man, and then he stopped. It was
So,
weird. He
good for him.
stopped.
Just
Yeah.
that easy.
He stopped doing it.
Why can't you
Went
be
on
more
to
like your
become-
brother?
Why can't you be more like your brother? Yeah, it
I hated
you know,
that.
it was like you know, and we went to Catholic schools, man. We went and you know, I was getting good grades and all that stuff, and you know, I don't know, it's just I don't know. It's just like I just felt that when they said I had to have something different. My brother went on to do good things, man. He went into the Air Force, got his degrees and all that stuff, and he lives in Georgia now. And he, you know, he's doing really good. And you know, I just I went the other way, of course. And
Were you
got-
close
you-
with him?
no, we weren't really close. I mean, he left at 18 years old, and we never talked. You know, I was busy running around doing my thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I really never talked with any family. You know, I'm estranged from a lot of my family.
Even today?
Even today, I mean, I'll see them every once in a while. I don't feel comfortable sitting in a room with them. You know what I mean?
But you feel comfortable hanging out with us.
Absolutely. It's
I
comfortable
feel
with
I'm
you
the
guys,
same way.
you know, because they've accomplished so much in their lives. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And it's like I'm here 10 years clean, and I'm trying to catch up to everybody. And you know, everybody's talking about retirement right now, and you know, I'm still trying to catch up to to that. You know, I don't see myself retiring anytime soon. And, you know, but I mean, I don't. It's something on my mind constantly, but you know, I just go day by day, see what
Yeah.
happens here. Yeah, man.
So the drinking beer, smoking weed, it felt safe. It clicked for you. It felt like an escape. How did that progress? Was there any kind of like, did it become regular? Was there anything that kind of like any kind of catalyst or kind of things that like fast tracked that process for you? Did it progress into different drugs?
Yes, it did. I was growing up. I was hanging out with my Mexican friends, right? I was doing all.
Where'd you live?
In Broderick, California, West Sac.
Okay.
It's a little town called Broderick.
There's a meeting there called the Broderick Group,
Yes,
right?
yeah. It's a little, really small community, man. But everybody knew everybody, and
Hey, really quick, do you remember when I shared the meeting for you? You were
Broderick, yeah.
secretary at Broderick Group?
yeah.
You remember what happened?
No, what happened?
Dude, I'm standing up next to Gabe sitting down. I'm standing up, and there's like 20 people in this meeting, and all of a sudden, automatic gunfire goes off, like outside the door. Bop, 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 bop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And I'm
remember
like
now.
standing there going, I'm looking around wide-eyed, like deer in the headlights.
So I'm not from here.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's nothing.
And I looked around, and the woman right in front of me in the front row, she goes, "Yeah, that was gunfire.
Yeah.
You know, what of it?" And Gabe looks at me and goes, "Yeah, go ahead, keep going." So
good.
I keep talking, like I'm paranoid. I keep talking, and then the SWAT comes inside the rooms, full gear.
Yeah.
And they go, "Okay, when you guys leave this way." Actually, the first time he says, "Don't come out."
Yeah.
Don't come out of this room.
Oh,
Yeah, we were busy. We were busy anyway. That
It
day,
just
but
shocked me. Like I look around and nobody's phased.
That's Broderick.
Fucking
That's who it was.
gunfire right outside
Yeah.
the door.
it sounds right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I grew up
Anyway,
with.
just sorry to interrupt
that's,
you.
No, good.
That's a good story, dude.
Yeah,
I never heard that.
It
crazy.
gives
Yeah.
kind of a leeway into how it was back. What it was like for
Yeah,
me back
you
then.
growing up.
Being young, growing up like that, man. And it was like I grew up. I was 12, 13 years old, hanging out with the homies. And we would go up to the river on the levee up there by one of our schools, and we'd go up there, drink beer, and smoke weed. And I'm gonna get to what you asked.
Yeah.
And it was like one day they brought some 22s, and handguns up there, and they were shooting. They were just shooting cans, shooting just whatever was up there, man. And then we did that a few times, and then one of these days they were talking about robbing someone. You know what I mean? And I was like, whoa, Everybody wants to be a gangster till you really have to do that stuff,
Yeah,
right?
right.
And I was like, whoa, I actually got scared, man. That kind of scared me into, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to rob people. I'm just going to potentially hurt somebody or hurt myself. And, that was a whole change of the way I felt about that lifestyle. And
So at that point, did you recognize that it was like your moral compass? Like,
yeah,
I don't really want to.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't. That's something
That's
I don't
pretty
want to
cool
do.
that you
I wanted
had-
to hang out with these guys, and
Yeah.
because we were close, man. These are childhood friends, and they found just like that lifestyle of shooting, and they loved it. All of them ended up going to prison, and it's like, man, But anyway, man. So yeah, I was hanging out with them guys, and there came a time, man, where I didn't felt I fit in because of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, what do I do now? And going through school also was a big. It was all of us Mexican kids. We were at the college, at the Catholic schools, and so anyway, I got accepted to Christian Brothers High School, right? One of three of us. Well, three
Is
of
that
all
Sac?
already. Yeah, it's in Sacramento, and at the time I was, still hanging with. There were some Mexican kids there, and was hanging out with them. And man, that's the first time ever felt racism. You heard of it, but that was the time I ever felt it. Right at this Catholic school, where I'm sitting there, man, and I hear this group of white kids calling us spicks, right?
Yeah,
Little
yeah.
spicks over there. You know what I mean? And I'm like, whoa, man, what's going on? Ain't this a Christian school, a Catholic high school? What's going on here? And it blew my mind. And all of us, and then they started using the N-word to the other black kids there, man. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. And so we go to the teachers, right? I'm like, they're not going to get in trouble, so, it's just, that was the first time I felt it, right? I felt it. I heard of it, but I felt it that time, and I was ashamed of who I was, right? It just took over. I was ashamed of it. And, I don't want to be Mexican no more, right? It was.
That's a fucking heavy feeling.
It was a
as
deep
kid.
feeling, man. And
Jesus.
So, man, I started hanging out with the other Mexican kids who were, I guess the only way I could say is who were acting white. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah, I do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They weren't into the khakis and lowriders. They were into the same stuff the white kids were into. And so I started hanging out with them, and I changed the way my clothes went, and
So you wanted to fit in.
I wanted to fit in
somewhere
with
else.
somewhere else where I wasn't classified as a spick.
Yeah.
Right? Wow, man.
That's heavy. So looking back, I'm just curious, looking back now, can you identify that as trauma?
I can.
Because it is.
I can, because, see, I didn't want to be what they were saying. Mm-hmm. And it affected the way I lived my life.
Yeah, no
right?
shit.
And it was like, man, and I always thought about that, and it hurt, right? It hurt. So that's, man. Hold on a second.
I can relate a lot to the just wanting to not feeling the love at home, and trying to find it here, and this doesn't work, and trying to find it there, and just not feeling
Accepted?
safe or accepted or connected with myself, and just trying to figure something out.
And at that age, I was trying to find
An identity.
an identity for who I am.
I didn't even know what I was doing.
Right. So it was like really confusing, man. It was really confusing at the time. And I remember just feeling I was not Mexican enough to hang out with my friends, Mexican friends, right? But not being white enough to hang, you know what I mean, to hang out with the white kids. So but I managed to wiggle my way in with the white kids community, man. And there's where I found.
They showed you crank.
That's where I found. Well, first it was coke, man. First it was coke. I started doing coke, and I remember the first time I did coke, man. Coke was really popular.
Fucking white kids.
Late '80s, right? Coke was really popular. Everybody was doing coke, man. And it was like, man, it was like first line I ever did, man. I got really scared, paranoid. Man, am I going to get addicted to this? You know, it was really weird. I was 16 years old, right, and I did my first line of cocaine. And
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
At the time, it's different for everybody, but what was your perception of a drug addict? Like, what was a drug addict to you at that time?
Somebody just shooting drugs, sitting on the corner.
Yep.
Just like our literature tells us, sitting on the corner, just out of it, dirty.
Life in shambles.
Yes.
No, I had the same perception as you have to shoot.
Yeah.
You have to shoot dope, and like I was in the doorstep, in the stoop, or down the alley.
Down the alley,
not
on the
out
street,
in an abandoned house somewhere.
Dirty drug addict.
I never did that, so I was never an addict.
Right. So that went on for a little bit.
Just coke?
Cocaine. Yeah. And then, I think it was a whole 16 and 17 years old.
You remember roughly what year it was when you were like getting out of high school, that age group?
83, 84.
All right.
And it was 83, 84. So I hung out with these kids, man, and we were doing it. My mom worked 2 jobs. So I was pretty much on my own, latchkey kid, And so, I had to pick her up from work because we had one car and I had to go to school. So it was just a routine we did daily. But I was picking her up hammered, man, high every day as a 16-year-old.
Hi, Mom.
High as hell, yeah, and having to sit there all night because I couldn't go out after. I had a strict mom who was like, you ain't go. She was really strict when she was there with us. But when I was on my own, I was running the streets. But I'd have to come home, go to sleep. Because school the next day. But I'd stay up all night on that cocaine, man. But so yeah, man, that went on for a couple of years, and then at 18 years old, I found crank.
How did you find it?
The same guys I was hanging out with doing the cocaine, we decided, hey, let's
Graduate in high school, might as well graduate crank.
Yeah, well, enrolled in high school. Let's find out what everybody's talking about right now. It's just crank. So we bought a $20 bag, and it lasted us all damn night, for a long time, man. And that was it, man. I was in love. I was in love. Yep. I was in love, man. And it was like, this is it right here. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And,
did your other friends, did they get turned out on it?
They started selling it, and then I didn't have to buy it, at all. It was, if I did, it was like $20 for a whole, big amount. And it was like, so yeah. So, we all, as a group, as friends, the whole damn town turned into, didn't sleep. It was pretty, it was a small town, and
hence Broderick.
Nobody slept, right? Nobody slept, man. It was crazy. We ran to each other everywhere. And so yeah, that's where the addictive part that I noticed came out in my life, man. And from then on, man.
Yeah. So I have a question. When you got loaded that first time, where it changed the way you feel, and you're going, "Oh, this is the shit." Like I don't feel the same way I was feeling. What was the feeling that you were feeling that you wanted to mask or hide or shove down?
I think it was because I was a really quiet guy. I didn't really know how to talk to people. I didn't know how to make conversation. And it's sometimes like that today, where I have to get to know people. But and drugs, I think, was the one thing that brought everyone together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
It was just everything. That it was everything, man. If if you didn't like someone, I hear in rooms a lot. People I wouldn't get high with. If you had dope, I'm getting high with you. I'll find some kind of way to get along with you. And that's really the feeling that I got from it, man. Was I could talk with people, and of course, I, the sex was there. That's probably really what I loved most about that stuff.
Well, you're a teenager.
You know what I mean?
so-
Yeah. So yeah,
Duh.
and Crank did it even more. It's like it was just it was crazy, man. It was just a fun times. I like to call it sometimes. Fun times. Until it wasn't. So,
Have you picked up any consequences before this? Like juvenile hall or
No, I had
nothing?
never been to juvenile hall.
So you
the
stayed
worst-
out of trouble.
I was, yeah, well, like going back to when I was younger, man, it was like I didn't, it wasn't that I didn't want to hurt. No, I was afraid to do that stuff. I
Yeah.
was fear of going to jail, man. Look at me, I'm pretty. I'd be
You were a
someone's
careful
girlfriend. I was
tweaker.
someone's girlfriend in there. Yeah, I was.
Careful tweaker.
Yeah, I was. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I couldn't go to prison. You know what I mean? And it was like
There's all
avoided
kinds of
that
lovers in
stuff.
prison too.
Yeah, that's the thing. I would have been a lover in prison too.
Yeah.
So, but it's like, man, I don't. That's the to answer your question. That's the consequences that I did get was just little petty stuff. Getting caught with stuff. I wasn't really taking any penitentiary chances to do anything. I always wanted the freebie. You know what I mean? And that also made me feel kind of like, not part of. You know what I mean? And because everyone was stealing, boozing, doing stuff like that to
Yeah.
get dope, and I was trying to hold down a job to it, and it wouldn't work. I would try to, just do the least thing I can do to get high, man. And it became like work, man, like work, trying to find
yeah,
something.
a hustle.
The hustle, yeah, and I was afraid to do any of the penitentiary stuff to get me, like robberies and stuff. But I would barely do enough to get a little bag, and that also made me feel like in
weren't a
in the
gangster?
drug world. Yeah, I wasn't. I was just a little petty ass nickel dime kind of guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that made me feel my self esteem went even lower with that. So it was pretty crazy, man.
So yeah, it sounds like you have a real self-esteem thing from even early childhood.
For sure.
You
Yeah,
know?
it was a self-esteem that, and I realized it, man, in my using days. I realized it then, man. I didn't, I had no self-esteem at all, man. I would find ways to get loaded, man, and it really wasn't too much dope that I was getting because I didn't have no self-esteem. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know to get a job. I didn't want to go stealing. I didn't, it was just a really confusing time. Also, this for me.
No shit, you're like fish out of water.
Yeah, pretty much. So
Huh.
So that lifestyle, would you say that outside of the pattern that you just described, did it progress to anything else? Was there any more like major changes in your using, or did that kind of continue until you got clean? And how did that take place?
well, it just continued for a long time, man. I would get with girls who had hustles. You know what I mean? And just I would continue using through their food stamps, through their welfare.
So
right?
you sought out caretakers.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I sought out caretakers, man, and it was kind of embarrassing at first, man. But I got to use that throughout my using. Women who had kids, and was on the welfare, stuff like that,
Yeah.
and eat their kids' food and sleep in their couches and stuff like that, which also brought me down even lower. You know what I mean? To where it was like, man, what am I doing, man? Because there were women that I weren't even attracted to. I I heard the term one time and I related to it, a hobosexual, right? I was a hobosexual, man.
I've never heard that.
Sleeping with women so I wouldn't have to be homeless, even though if I liked them or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and then coming and creating chaos in their house by inviting friends that they didn't know about to come to my house and, just cause chaos in their house and disrupt their house and, stuff like that.
Hobosexual.
Yeah.
Did you start using any other kinds of drugs, or did it pretty
No,
much
it was
stick?
pretty much just crank. I tried other stuff. I think I smoked crack once, and I said, "Nah, I don't want this." And all that other stuff they had back was ecstasies and stuff like that. It was just anything that would. It had to be crank for me. It had to be, man. I was just strictly crankly, man, and it was just.
You're a
that
very
was it for
loyal
me,
drug
man.
addict.
I was very loyal to the crank, man. And it was the snorting at first, man. And then, after a while, a friend of mine and me discovered this. Somebody I was working with growers, and there was a guy, the company dealer, go around, and I've always seen him running around. And we're like, "Hey, what's up? What are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm collecting from everybody," and it's like, and he said, "Hey, come with me on break time." At lunchtime, and we went to his car, and he broke out some foil, and he's fucking doing something with some crank, right? And he's smoking it, right? And then I'm like, "What are you doing? What is that? Whoa, that's whoa, what's up?" He goes, "Oh yeah,
That's
try
new.
it." Yeah, he said, "Try it," and I tried it, and then I went after work, went to my friend's house who was selling it, and turned him onto it. And from then on, we just started smoking it all the time out of whatever. And then, of course, all the pipes came out and all that stuff. And from then on, I was just a pipe smoker, man. And man, it was I did that for a very long time. I wanted to use with the needle, but I just couldn't hit myself. I couldn't do it.
Oh,
And
I'm
it was hard to
definitely
find
afraid of
people.
needles.
It was hard to find people who would do that for you all the time. There was just not. There was like, nah, So but when I did experiment and try to do it myself, man, I love that feeling, man, and I think that someone watching over me to not get me into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I couldn't do it myself, man, and because I would love that feeling, man, and so yeah, it was just mostly crank for me, and it ruined just about every part of my life, man. Every part, every single
You
part.
said earlier that you were enrolled in high school. Does that mean you didn't graduate?
Yeah, that means I didn't really go either. I was enrolled in school, but I didn't really attend. It was like I said, my mom worked 2 jobs and she wasn't there, so I just ran crazy. I just did anything but school. Hang out with my friends, skipping school, getting high, and I didn't get the chance to graduate, and
I can relate
just
to
failed
that.
out, man. Yeah.
I graduated my freshman year, and then the school asked me not to come back.
Wow.
Yeah, because I left a good impression on them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, they didn't
Yes.
appreciate fighting.
Yeah, fighting
It was
or
a little disruptive.
yeah, or
And my
stealing.
2 older brothers also got in trouble with drugs and drinking at that high school. So that followed me.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, you're in Aaron's?" Yeah, there's been other schools that are like, "No, we can't take you." You're in.
Yeah, that's pretty hard, man.
It is. Yeah.
You have to know that your family, that the reason you're not there is because of your family. I think that's what happened to my sister.
Oh, no.
Wait, no, your Gabe's sister, but she did a whole different thing. We don't even talk today.
Oh.
But yeah. So school was not my thing, man. School was not my thing at all.
What happened
regret
after, after 18? You're an adult.
After 18, man, they had told me in school that because I skipped so much school, man, and I went to call to the principal's office, and they said, "Man, I can't remember how many. It was a big amount of days that haven't been to school," and they said, "Well, we want to." They said they wanted to take my parents to court or sue, prosecute my
Yeah,
parents or
they could
something.
do
Back
that.
in the days, they did that, right?
Yeah.
There was like, you're responsible for your
Truancy
kids.
officers.
So yeah, and I said, "Well, I'm 18," and they said, "Oh, well, you're out of here. I don't want my parents to get in trouble." I said, "Well, I'm 18 now. don't think are they responsible for me? And they kicked me out, in other words. So
Yeah.
after that, man, I had planned like my brother to go into the service, but that all, doing dope, man, that's all I wanted to do. I didn't care about the service. I didn't even think about getting to my age I am today, where I'm thinking of not having problems thinking about what I'm going to do for retirement. But, I always thought I'd be young forever, and after 18, it's a blur. It's a blur. I just know I was getting high every single day, trying to stay high, and had a kid.
You had a kid?
Had a kid that was, she was born without an arm, and she's doing really well. I'll get to that in a minute, but she's and then I had 2 more kids later on, and I didn't support none of them. It was from 18 on, it was just just dope, man, dope for the longest time, and I remember thinking a lot of different times that what am I doing? What am I doing? I never thought about quitting. I was thinking, well, how can I manage this stuff and get my life together financially, which I know now is impossible for someone who's using the way I used, and it just took a long time for me to. It took an act of CPS to finally figure out that.
Is that the first time you had consequences? Was CPS?
Yeah, I mean, I got pulled over a couple times, but nothing major. Got pulled over with a pistol at one time, and
you didn't catch any charges for that?
I did. I think I paid a fine. Did I was supposed to do, 70 days in jail, and I ended up doing 2 days, and they kicked me out. This is in Yolo County, and not any kind of real consequences. I mean, besides messing my life up,
right?
But nothing going to prison or jails or 2 weeks.
How many years is a
man.
gun charge?
I couldn't tell you. I'm too far removed from all that. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's been too long for me. I don't know.
It's a nice thing to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a loaded concealed weapon.
How old were you when you caught the CPS case? Like, just to get kind of like a timeline.
27.
Okay.
27. So from 18 to there was.
And that was the first time you found recovery.
That's the first time I found that there was anything like that.
So was it like a court card? Was it AA? Was it a rehab? Was it what prompted the concept for you?
CPS had told me that I need to go into a program, and
residential
program, and that they would pay for. I mean, I'm glad they did because I didn't have nothing to pay for it anyway. They said we'll pay for it. You want to go into a program? And I was like, man, I wanted my kids back, right? That was the thing.
But
I wanted kids.
You were single at the time?
No, we weren't together. She was doing her thing, and we weren't together. They went to her house, and they took the kids because she was selling drugs out of it. So, and I seen them take my kids away, and man, that they offered us the program. She didn't take it. I took it. I wanted the kids back, and I had to enter a residential program.
What program was it?
It was a program in Woodland. It was called Beamer Street. For anybody out there listening to the old school Beamer Street in Woodland. It was just a 2-week program at the time, and then I was just waiting for my funds to go to Cache Creek Lodge, which was in Woodland also, to do, I think,
that's an SLE?
It was a 60-day residential program.
All right.
And I started, and that's when I learned about, they pushed a lot of AA, which was pretty cool, And then I didn't I didn't even know about NA. I didn't know about any of them, but AA was the one that they
So that was the first time you ever heard of
an anonymous
program? Yeah.
Yeah. And, I don't
How old
even
were
remember
you?
at the time I was like 27.
27?
27 years old. I was just, and it didn't
that's
take
still
long.
pretty young to hear about recovery.
Yeah.
That's about when I first heard about it too.
Yeah. And at the time, it's like, who does this, man? I just wanted to control it. I was like, okay, I want my kids to come home.
And how was that working out for you?
It didn't work out at all, man. Didn't work out at all. The kids came home. They had almost given me the kids about, I don't know, six months later. But, I was using, and the only one they could tell was the lady that actually delivered the kids to my visits.
Mm-hmm.
She looked at me and she said, "Are you high?" And I was like, "Man," I didn't say nothing. And the kids were coming home, man. It killed me to see this happen. The kids were coming out of their foster parents' vehicle, coming in to come home with Dad with their little suitcases ready to go.
Oh,
And man, I had to tell my worker, "No, I'm not clean," because the lady said, "I'm not telling, but you tell something." So she kind of made me feel like,
guilt
you know
you
what I
then,
mean?
huh?
She said, "It's up to you. You tell or not. I'm not saying anything," because I told her, "Yeah, I'm high," and so I had to take the kids back, and man, I had to start over.
So you
I had to start over.
voluntarily did not take the kids?
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't let me because I was high. When the social worker came in to bring them home and
Oh,
stuff,
yeah?
I told them, I can't take my kids right now. I'm using, and I've been using for a while. They didn't test me. It was kind of weird. They didn't test me at all. And but anyways, yeah, that was pretty heartbreaking for me and the kids as well. I think that's what.
Yeah, that's a head fuck for the kids for sure.
It is. It was really bad, man. Maybe
How old were they?
Fall deeper. They were like 2, 3, and 4, man. They were still, but they knew their dad. They were coming home. It was
That's heartbreaking.
yeah,
Yeah. It's tough, huh?
yeah.
Part of your journey.
It was part of my journey, and
So when from there to getting clean, like to stay clean,
A bunch of relapses.
just in and out for a long time, or
yeah. They came home eventually, and I was like 22 months. I know it was 22 months clean, and I had my place and all this stuff, and I met this girl. She was using, and I fell back into addiction. Started using again.
So
so this is somewhere in the 90s.
So this comes up like 2000s. It was 97 when I started, 98, and I was clean.
97 was CPS.
Yes.
Okay.
In 98, I was clean. They came home, 99, 2000, I started using again. So, they came back by and they were talking about taking the kids again. So I shipped them off to my mom, and I just ran wild here. So I shipped them back to West Sac. And during that time, and I just wanted, I was getting high, but I was covering up with using, I'm covering up the feelings.
Yeah,
Because I felt
I
like
see.
shit, man. I really did.
So we'll touch on that about the kids.
Yeah. I didn't want to.
We ask about shame and guilt later on.
Okay. Yeah. So that happened. So and
Getting loaded
between there,
really helps getting rid of
it
those
helps
feelings.
for the moment.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have any other coping mechanisms.
Right. Yeah. And so I stopped going to the meetings. I stopped doing all the stuff that was suggested, and it happened. I met a girl who was getting high, and I said, "Man, I think I could get high with you." So yeah. So after
I think
after
I can get high with you.
I think I can do that with you.
I think I get high with you. It'll be all right.
You're fine. I should be totally fine.
Yeah. I could do some
Good rationale
do
there.
some things with you, and it's like after that, I ran for a while, and and finally lost the place in Woodland, and I had to come back to West Sac, man, to where it all happened.
And this whole time, your mom's taking care of the kids?
My mom was taking care of the kids, and
Was she okay with that?
I know she just did it because I don't know why.
Somebody's got to?
Yeah, and that's more the shame that I had. You know what I mean? And because I know she didn't want to, but she's like she did it. I don't know why she did it. I never asked.
I'm
man.
sure
I
she
don't
did
know.
it for the kids.
For the kids, I'm sure. But I know she always talked about, I raised my kids. My kids, I'm not going to raise no one else's, but that's how it went for that, man. And she raised them for a little bit, and and all this stuff that I'm talking about is centered in my addiction because is about me not taking care of my kids, right? That was the most. Well, not being able to hold the job, but not taking care of my kids was the biggest part of the feelings that I was covering up.
Yeah, the driving factor of staying loaded.
Yes,
yeah.
staying high because I wasn't taking care of my kids. I would see them walking to school while I'm out tripping around in the neighborhood, and just avoiding them, and stuff like that, man.
Dude, that pain must have been
It was
fucking
terrible,
horrible.
man. It was horrible, and so yeah, I would. The question? What was the question you asked?
Lee, how did you get clean to stay clean?
Oh, to stay clean. Okay, yeah, I used from that time, and then I got clean again. I went to Salvation Army, and it was a 9-month program. I remember going to that again. My kids
9 months is a long time.
Yeah, it was a long program, and so it was another 9 months that my kids weren't going to see me, and I had to pawn them off on their mom was clean for a little bit, and I stayed clean for 5 years after I left the Salvation Army.
That's quite a chunk of change. And
It
you were
was
going to
pretty
meetings?
good. I was going to meetings, and
All in
about
West Sac?
Broderick Group, and some around the other ones in the Sacramento area. I was hitting
North Sac and all
North Sac and all those over there.
All
And
right.
so I was clean for a while, and then I started working 2 jobs because started getting a place to live and stuff like that. And so the meetings started tapering off, right?
Ugh.
And after a while, it was like, okay, I've been clean this long. I don't need to go to that many meetings anymore, right? And I started working with a sponsor, and
Is that the point, looking back now, is that the point where, when they talk about relapse can happen months before you actually get loaded?
that's
You're
exactly
setting
where
yourself
it was,
up.
man. I was setting it up, and I heard people always come back from that relapsed. Comes, man, but what happened? People ask what happened, and it was always like, just what I did. I stopped going to meetings, stopped talking to a sponsor,
Yeah.
stopped doing the step work, stop working with others, stop hanging out with the other addicts,
In the
and that's
5 years,
exactly what happened.
Yeah, in the 5 years you had a sponsor and you were working steps?
Yeah, up until like 3 years, and then the last 2 years of that was just abstinence, just working and trying to, just trying to stay clean on just staying clean until I met a girl again, right? And I moved in with her, and she knew I was clean, and I would go into meetings when I was living with her, and
Was she getting loaded?
yeah, I found out that I was going through stuff in the room, and I found one of her crank pipes. I'm like, oh, what's this? I said, oh, can you get some more? It happened that fast, to where it was like, it started off with a couple of beers, a couple of 24 packs,
Yeah.
and I mean, 24 ounces. And by the time I was finished with that, man, I felt the guilt and shame and stuff. And then I found the pipe, and it's like, hey, I want to try this again. She knew I was clean, and she's like, no, I'm not going to buy it. No. I said, well, I know where to get it. So, because I was back in West Sac. So, it started again, man. After 5 years, it was a week or 2 after I had
So you added on more shame and guilt.
added on more shame and guilt because my kids found out. My kids were older now. They were in their preteens and teens, and they were like, "Oh no, not again." They remember
Dad's off
from
the
being
wagon.
yeah, and man, it was just more shame and guilt, and
Probably even worse knowing the fact that you had already been through NA or AA
yeah, it was,
and you knew there was a way to
yep,
fix this,
yeah.
but you chose not to.
And I chose not
Oh,
to,
that's
man. I
even
made
heavier.
that choice to do it. And
Yeah.
the insanity entered my brain again and said, I could do this. You could do this. And knowing there was a way out, man, I chose the insanity again. Right. So after a while, man, it was like I stayed out after that for till 2014. I was from it was like '08 and I was just doing it, just ruining people's lives I lived with, and just the same old stuff, but more of it. You know what I mean? Just
And you didn't have the kids?
no, the kids were living with their mom. Their mom was clean at the time.
Oh.
She had straightened up for a while. So, but but then she fell off the wagon too. And then my kids were again going through that stuff again, and they were older now. So and as they were getting older, they noticed more, and started hating me, and but it and that he fell even more of the guilt
Dude,
and
you're
shame, man.
just getting fucking shame and guilt piled on you.
It was, man. It was piled up big time,
Just
man.
throwing it in a backpack and carrying it
Just
around
carrying
with you
it
for 20
around
years.
with me, and
Yeah.
not just being just being a jerk to people that were in my life at the time because of it, and
More like 30 years, huh? You got clean when you were 47?
yeah,
47?
48. So
What was the last last thing where you were like, all right, I'm done?
the last thing, man, was I had moved in with my eldest daughter, and she I had learned to trade with her husband at the time. I learned painting, how to paint. He took me to with his job, and I learned how to paint, man, and I was using it every day. I was thinking I was all right handling it because I got a job now, and now I can get high and pay my rent with them. And I thought I had it. I thought I had made it. And and it come to a day at work, man. I remember. Before that, a friend of mine got clean. Him and her and her boyfriend, and they kept calling me every once in a while. Hey, are you ready? We got a chair here. We had a spot for you if you're ready. I mean, no, I'm good. And one day at work, they were. I thought, I don't know, something happened. They were talking shit about me. The two coworkers and my son-in-law. I was like, so, you guys don't like it. Fuck off. I'm gonna leave. I'm leaving. Well, where are you going? I lived in South Sac. We were in Citrus Heights, and I said, I'm leaving. You guys don't like it. You guys can screw off, man. So I packed all my tools and I started walking. And again, I'm thinking, well, where the hell am I gonna go? I got no job now. And then it hit me. I'm gonna stop doing this shit, man. I've had it. Because there was a lot of stuff that went between that since I lived with my daughter. Just more stuff that I was doing. Guilt and shame causing over there, using in their house with a whole bunch of kids, and just taking their car at night, and stuff like that, man. That led up to this point to where I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And I remember saying that one night, staying up all night, man. I can't do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Meaning it, right? And it was like that argument, that hassle that happened at work that day was like my sign that I didn't realize it, right? Until because I was pissed at them guys legitimately. I was pissed off at them, and I told them fuck off, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna leave, and then wondering what am I gonna do now, and because I couldn't not pay rent and then light went on. I said, okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this recovery stuff
So
that they talked about.
you like kind of voluntarily came back to the program?
Yeah. I kind of said, you know what, I'm done. I know where to go. I know what to do. Coming in and out of the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous gave me that way back to where I knew where to go.
I have a similar story as you.
Where I knew where to go. I knew what I was going to do. Because somewhere in there, I heard, you can find a new way to live. Stop using drugs, lose the desire to use, and find a new way to live. I had that desire to stop using, man, and for the first time in my life, I was not afraid to try something new, something that's going to help me, right? Mm-hmm. Something that's going to be something positive in my life.
And you already had that before too.
Yeah, I've had it before, and I wanted it permanently now. I didn't want to do this anymore. So, I went and I called my friend and I said, hey, is that seat's still available?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, of course, So it was a little program called New Start in North Sacramento that they just took me right in from, that same day I quit, packed my stuff and I left.
No shit. You got lucky.
Yeah. So, they came and picked me up and, I flushed whatever I had. I had just gotten the day before, right? And that came and I poured it out. And my daughter said, "Man, you must be serious."
How'd you feel about getting rid of all that dope?
It felt good, man. It felt really good because it gave me the sense of I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
It gave me the feeling that I'm going to do this. Because any other time I would have probably just saved it somewhere and but I threw it out. But then there was the thing. There was this. As I was packing my stuff, I was really looking for other bag that I had lost, because that's why I got the new bag, because I lost some more before, and and I was looking for it frantically, man, because I was taking all my stuff out. I called my daughter in. I said, "Hey, you got to find this stuff, because the kids. There's a bunch of kids there." And anyways, I left and I came to New Start, and they were doing my checking, and they were checking all my clothes. They check your stuff, and in programs they check all your clothes to see if you're hiding anything, stashing it.
Yeah.
And they found that dope in one of my jacket pockets, and it's like, oh, there it is. I said, here, let me see. I'll come back tomorrow, and just joking around. And they're like, no, we're throwing it away. But and that's what it was a relief, man. I was able to call my daughter, say, I found it. Don't worry about it. So that and so anyway, that's where my journey began, coming back, man. That's where it began, where I could say, you know what, man, I've seen so many people before, and they're still here. So I'm gonna give this thing a try and give myself a break, man, and
like evidence that it works, right?
Evidence that it works, and so that's where my journey began, man, and I really. You know how they say that no one's going to stop using until they're ready to stop, man. And I felt that was ready, man. And that opened up so much.
That's a good feeling. It's like, did you remember the weight getting lifted off of you?
Yeah. It was, I got a really good night's sleep, because of that night. And it was like, because I went in there loaded, and I counted the next day as my clean day. And, of course, and it was like, man, I slept good that night, man. I woke up ready to go, man, and it was just because, excuse me, it was yeah, man, I was ready to go. I was ready to start doing this thing, ready to get a sponsor again. I was ready to, do this thing called recovery, because in the past it was just something I was going through the motions with, what I mean?
Especially for CPS.
Yeah, and all that, yeah. And this time it was like, okay, I'm going to pay attention.
So it sounds like you were personally motivated.
Let's start off with reservations. Did you have any reservations when you got clean and this time, and then any reservations currently today?
No.
Well, you answered that too fast. When you got clean, like between periods of where you had like 5 years and then to the very last time you got loaded, what was the reservation at that time? Like, disregard all the progress that you've worked through. Mm-hmm. Like, can you remember going, oh man, if this happens?
Well, the answer could still be no. The answer could be no, but I think maybe. Like as an example, like when you got clean this time, just to be more specific, so that if somebody's listening, they maybe know what the question we're asking. Did you have a reservation like, man, if I can't get it together, like if the kids get taken again and I'm doing good, or if one of my kids dies, or was there anything that you were like, if this happens? My answer has always been no. Man. I never had reservations, so I know the answer can be no. But just was there anything that stood out for you at the time?
At the time, I think okay. Now we put it that way. Now, I think I don't think it was. It was more or less like, if my mom had died, how would I handle that? Right. So I wasn't sure. Am I going to go out and get high over it, or how am I going to deal with that, right? That was when I was new, and I started hearing about reservations and all that kind of stuff during the program, in the meetings and with the sponsor, and it's like, but I knew at the time I had to cancel all those reservations, right? It's in our the literature, those have to be canceled, right? You have to be. I had to somehow, some way, get that out of the way and let God take care of all that stuff, man. That's what I learned in the program. So any reservations I have today that I had back then, have been canceled, because it's happened. My mom passed a couple years ago, right? And I didn't even think one moment to get high. That was the last thing on my mind. The first thing on my mind was reach out to my sponsor, right? Call another addict, someone that I already knew that had happened to them, right? And it worked out perfectly to
Right.
where I was there. It was, you know, the love of the fellowship and the things that I learned about this disease and the reservations that have to be canceled when I get there. It worked out, you know, and I think that was probably the worst thing that could have happened in my recovery, my mom passing.
So the reservation
worked
early
out.
on was, if my mom passes out, I don't know what I'll be.
How would I deal with it?
Yeah, will I be able to deal with that?
Yeah.
And then through time and doing some work, you've been able to get into some solution around
Use
all
the
that.
program
Yeah,
to where
right
I
on.
can, you know, get through it.
Answer both at the same time,
Clean
then
at-
and now.
Clean
Yeah.
at the other
Yeah.
side. Clean. Get out of it clean on the other side. You know what I mean? And because that's the most important thing to me, is to stay clean, right? And the
That's-
recovery part of
I
it,
mean, that's a great process that
Yeah.
you went through.
it was, man. And I learned that here.
You've been in it. You were in and out for a while too, so you probably have been through the process enough to know where you're like, I gotta fucking figure this out this time.
Yeah.
Did you ever experience like the quote unquote pink cloud at any of the times when you were in recovery, out of recovery, going in and out?
To be honest, I still don't understand what they mean when they say I'm on the pink cloud. Is it like a high that they're talking about from being clean, or
Just like
or-
feeling good about
feeling good about
life
myself,
and
about life?
recovery, and
Okay,
like I
then-
got this, and
then
like
for sure,
a little
yes,
bit of extra.
I wrote it clean. Then for sure, okay, I have, and you know, all those times were always before this time were always shot down by using again
some
of
point,
course. Yeah.
So did you experience it this last time?
Yes, this last time when I finally said, I'm done with this, and I got that first night's sleep. I always remember that first night's sleep, man. It was a good night, man. It was. I was just relieved to finally be at peace with myself because I said I'm done and I'm going to do this stuff. So
Yeah.
that was my pink cloud for a little while, man, and it just
For like months.
for months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's
then-
it's an energy that carries us through
Yeah,
through the early
sure.
stages.
For sure,
Yeah.
it's what carries us through it, and then until something happened and it doesn't test it. It's just life happens, and then you got to deal with it clean, right? When it's your first one after that pink cloud, and then you find that there's a way to get out of it by not using. It's just like another pink cloud ride, right? And it's just it's just something else. It's just something that I wanted more of from this program. As more got revealed to me, I was like, man, I really could do this stuff, and it seems like the pink cloud, man, it's just sometimes just keeps going. You know what I mean? And,
that's
and
nice.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear you talk about like this new part of your journey where you're now getting clean compared to the 5 years that you had previous.
Yeah.
In the 5 years, it didn't sound like you were invested.
Wasn't
Right.
done.
You were just going through the motions.
Yeah.
And now you were all in.
Yeah, yes, it was that was it, man. The
I
5
can
years
hear
that I
it in
went
your
to,
story.
it was from I went to Salvation Army, and then that 5 years that I got from after I left there, that was for my kids,
Mm-hmm.
right? It was, and which is a good gesture, right?
This
for
time
my
it's for
kids,
you.
right?
Yeah.
And I had the reservation. I see nowadays is that if I meet someone that's using, I'm going to go ahead and try to give it a try. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can-
And that worked out well for you last
I'm
time?
not, I'm not convinced that this isn't work.
Yeah, I've been clean this long. I got this, right? and I hear that all the time in meetings. I used to think it was so corny, but I've lived that. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I lived it. I think, hey, I've been clean this long. I can control it now, and it's not true, man. You guys listening out there, it's not true. It's not true for me. You have your own experience, but it's
Oh, we've
yeah,
seen
man.
it.
Yeah,
We've
we
seen
see
it.
it all the time, and that's the thing. We see it. I when someone's been clean for a while and they come back into the rooms after a relapse, man, I go to them and I say, "What happened?" And it's always the same thing, always the same thing. Because I relate to it because it's what happened to me. I need to hear it from someone else because it happened to me. But we find our similarities around here,
Right.
And I hear it and I tell them. I knew a lady that was She was clean for 30 years, and she ended up at the place that I work, which is a homeless services. And I seen her, and I said, "What happened? You were doing so good." She just shrinked to, just
Yeah.
shrinked. And she said, "I stopped going to meetings," and her mom died, and she stopped going to meetings, and stopped doing all the stuff after her mom passed. She just isolated and
Gave up.
And that's what happened. And
That's a
what
common
happened.
cocktail for relapses, especially with people with significant clean time, complacency, and one bad day.
One bad day.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
No matter how much time I have, I know from my own experience that complacency, if I I don't need to go to meetings because that's happened to me in early recovery, and then one bad day, you're loaded.
That's
Yeah.
why that's why I asked about the pink cloud experience with you having multiple runs in recovery. Cause like the longer that I've been around the rooms and the more in and out experiences that I've had, the more I realized I didn't like my last relapse. There was no pink cloud. Matter of fact, it was a black cloud for a while. And I had to really, really me with myself. I had to earn the recovery and the feeling that I have that I'm just now starting. Like, it's not so black anymore. It's never was pink this time, but I had to I didn't get that boost, like that. I know for sure. I guess let me think about how to say this. So
Your black cloud.
my first time getting into the rooms and realizing oh, maybe I could stay clean and getting into recovery was I was getting service commitments and going to 3 meetings a day and sweeping and bunch of service commitments and just doing everything. And because it was I felt like that's what I wanted to do. Like there was this drive there, like the pink cloud. I had that feeling of this is amazing. Thank God this is here. I found this. And that complacency thing along from being around and knowing better and going in and out, it made it to where it was I had to make a really conscious decision to stay. And so I was, that idea of the complacency, people going out, stopping going to meetings, it fucking terrified me because I felt that. I felt fuck this. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
All that, I'm not going. Or they don't fucking. They don't understand me. I'm different. It started attacking me, and so it's that pink cloud isn't always there. And I was just wondering if this last time when you came in, did you feel that good, I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to meet. That's fucking great.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it comes from the willingness, man. It came from my decision to stop and just give myself a break and hang on and start actually talking to people who are actually doing it, because before the other times when I had 5 years, I really wasn't talking with people. I was just I felt like I was, people didn't want to talk to me, but maybe it was just because I was sitting with my arms folded in a meeting.
So did you experience the pink cloud during the other times in recovery?
I think the Salvation Army time, when I went, I did. I felt it because everyone around me was talking about it, man. And I was, I was feeling good about myself also. But when I left, again, I felt it. I felt, some sense of, high, being clean and getting out on the street and being able to, use the tools that I had. But again, it wasn't because I wanted to. I know now, it was because I wanted my kids, man. I wanted them to proud of their dad and stuff, man. But it was there. I felt that pink cloud. Now that it gets mentioned and explained to me, that's what it was for me, man. And when coming to with the relapsing stuff, man, and I see people doing it. I mean, when people come back and, that's the reason coming in and out of the rooms is the reason that I stay here now, that I keep doing the things that I do when I got here, right? Like going, working with, talking to my sponsor, do meetings on a regular basis. work, doing my step work, finding a higher power and being of service, man. I try to do all those things, and because it's what keeps me here.
Yeah, because you've done it without doing
Without
those,
doing it, and I know for me what happens.
Yes,
I know once I start slacking off and start thinking, "Hey, I don't need as much, man."
I had the same experience.
It's the same thing that
Yeah.
I keep doing. There's this thing. If I stay ready, I don't have to get ready. Right, so
Nice.
so I stay here, man, and I keep doing the things, and I used to, when I was new, I was like, oh, regular basis meetings on a regular basis, that's every day, but then life comes and I start, now I have my regular meetings like Gratitude Tuesday, come on out and see us, and my Saturday and a Friday meeting I'm secretary of, I wasn't going to do that after I was going to take a break from service, but I got talked into it, and and I'm glad I did it, man. I'm glad I got to
That's cool.
continue doing what I'm doing, man, because it's part of that recipe that keeps me clean, and that's my ultimate goal, man, to stay
Right
clean.
on. So like no current reservations, and just to caveat on that, today, like Josh and I had this conversation before with others, is that a reservation today, not necessarily like if this happens, I'm going to get loaded, but if this happens, I'm not sure how I will react.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, sometimes like violent thoughts will come through my head, and I go, "Whoa, where the fuck did that come from?"
Mm-hmm.
If something happens,
Yeah.
like if my daughter gets harmed in some
Yes.
way,
Yes.
how am I going to react to the person that harmed her?
Right. And I've had that too, and it's like, looking at that before, and being man, we want to go out and just harm this person, right?
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
that's how, but then I got to think, am I going to go to the hospital or go to jail? Because I'm not,
You're not gangster.
I'm not a gangster,
anymore.
man. I'm not, I'm old. I'm getting old up there, and it's like, what's going to happen if they do something crazy and I go to jail or to the hospital and then they come visit me together saying, we're back together, Dad. You know what I mean?
Right.
What was that for? But
Exactly.
But that's the thing. I don't. Today I learned how to handle things, man, and
Pause.
take a pause and step back and look at it. Call somebody, man.
Yep.
It's usually my sponsor and tell them, hey, I already know the answer, but I just have to hear it from somebody else.
That's awesome.
And there's reservations.
Glad you know that lesson.
I don't have. I don't know. I don't want to say I don't have reservations. I don't know if it's something to say in recovery.
Not reservations
But
like
just for
getting
today,
loaded, but
just for today.
reaction. Yeah.
I can react in a different way, man, and that's all due to Narcotics Anonymous, man.
Cool. What's next?
Resentments.
Okay. Resentments.
A resentment what resentments did you carry with you when you first got clean? I mean, there's so many examples. Like mine was like fuck authority.
Yeah, there's authority. It's that. There's a couple of people who did me wrong, in that life. But I haven't dealt with any of those people at all since I've been clean. So, I mean, I don't know if we. I've also got some resentments in the program, right, from people
That happens.
that come in here and just. I mean.
What about today?
Today's.
What are any current resentments that you're holding on to?
I mean, shoot. If there's anything that really messes with my day or messes with me is what's going on social media. You know what I mean? That's a big part of some resentments that I get, man.
When you say
towards
social
people.
media, what are you referring to specifically?
I'm referring to
YouTube, Facebook?
The Facebook, man. But the stuff that's going on there, and the solution for me is don't be on it so much, right? But that's like a drug in itself, man, for me sometimes. And
Shit, yeah.
I haven't had it in like probably 2 years, but I replaced it with YouTube and it's out of hand.
Yeah, and that's where it's at, man. And the thing, I've stopped reacting and talking on it and commenting
That's
on it.
great.
But I still read it, right? And it's still kind of just the certain things that I see, man. What's going on today?
Yeah.
And
It's a crazy world we're living in right now.
And you know, and the thing is that it affects my recovery because it makes me judge people. It makes me think different of how people are, you know. And here I want to accept people where they're at. But looking at some of the stuff, it makes it really hard, and it affects my recovery at times.
What would it look like if you stopped going on Facebook? Would you get like a mass amounts of FOMO?
I'd probably get last amount of what?
FOMO?
What's
Fear of missing out?
It's like homo, but with an F.
you know what? I think so. I think I'd get a really bad case of that fear of missing out. But it's like, what am I missing out on? You know,
Sorry, Kevin.
the craziness that's going on around here.
Nice.
I mean, what am I missing out on that? You know, what would I be missing on that?
Yeah, just more
It's just-
pain and
Yeah,
anguish.
and just more, you know, wanting
Resentment.
to be more resentment
Yeah.
towards people, and it's not the strangers, right, that get me, the people that I don't know on there. It's I see certain people in the fellowship that I know that don't believe like I do, because you got to believe like I do, damn it. And,
Right.
and you know, it's like, you know, I think differently with them if I see them.
Yeah.
Right.
So another resentment, and Josh is really good about, pointing this out. I'm surprised you haven't done it yet. Is resentment against yourself.
I was waiting to see it came out. I thought about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Resentment against myself.
Like
I'm my biggest problem. So like,
Yeah.
my most frequent resentment is towards me, and you know I can mask it with like a resentment towards somebody else, but if I dig a little bit deeper, I can gain acceptance and find a little more peace around whatever it is by like how I dealt with the situation.
Okay.
But like a lot of like things that I've also done have caught like last time I got loaded. Like I was not happy with myself for quite some time, you know, or like doing something that I know is causing me harm, knowing better, everyone around me telling me it's causing me harm, and continuing to do it anyway because I've painted it the way I want it to be painted.
That's deep, man, because for me, that's deep because I just realized what I just told you guys about my resentments on the Facebook thing, man, is it really is me, right? You just said, man, it's like, you know, because sometimes, man, it could really poison my head, man. It could really do really bad for me,
yeah.
man. And then I feel bad about responding to something like that, right? And thinking, what a douchebag that person said something, and I'm doing the same thing, right?
Exactly.
And so it's like, you know, so that was pretty deep about it being on myself, blaming others, right, for the way I'm feeling and acting and reacting to things,
Yeah.
man. And so I'm going to take a look at that, man, and
Oh, that's
you
cool.
know, take a look at that because you know, that's a pretty deep resentment for me to have, man. And sometimes I feel like, you know, why am I even doing this stuff, man? You know, and it's
Yeah. I mean, I use social media just mainly for business. And
Yeah.
this podcast has a Facebook page.
Yeah.
And I also fall under like seeing this stream of chaos in the world, you know, and people's opinions. And so what I have found for me is if I'm going to continue to use Facebook, I am in charge of what I see. You know, of course, there's the algorithm, you know, but there's options where you can unfollow people
Yeah.
so you don't see what their stuff. I'm not particularly into like deleting people out of my Facebook, you know, but I can unfollow people so it'll curtail the amount of chaos that I see.
yeah.
I mean, there's solutions,
Yeah, there's solutions for
and
big
and
time.
getting off of Facebook, like Josh,
Yeah,
is
it's one of the big
doesn't-
solutions. It's I've actually shared about that at meetings where I need to get off of it, and they've even vowed to stop it for a week, and here I am again. They'll see me on there, and they'll text me, say, "I thought you were getting off this," and but it could be it can be a drug, man. Sometimes for me, man.
It is. If you delete it, and you get past the 30-day mark, it's gone forever. So when you delete the account, they give you a 30-day grace period, and I can't tell you how many times I deleted it.
Started a new one.
And before the 30 days was up, I was like, nah, it's a bad idea. I got this. Yeah. And started the process over and over again. And I was fairly into social media, like lots of interactions, lots of friends, lots of, I was extremely active. And I realized one day I was like, the more of my life is on Facebook than is in real life. This is fucking crazy. It
is.
And I was like, I got to stop, dude. I'm done.
Yeah, man. And I reached out to my sponsor about it, and he's like, well, the solution, get off it.
Abstinence.
Get off abstinence. And that's where everything starts. Stop using that shit. And yeah, man. Because I find, and I find it to where, where I really felt it, man, was when Anita tells me, you love that shit more than you do me.
Ooh. That's it right there.
Ooh.
More of my life is in this than it is in that.
You know?
That's heavy.
You're getting little hits, dude, when you're on that fucking, when you're on the book, dude, it's giving you little dopamine hits.
Yeah. And man, that hit me right now.
It's okay. Yeah. I mean, I know how much you love your wife. And to have it affect you like that, for you to tear up, that's a big sign right now for you,
Yeah.
So.
Because I felt it when she told me, but I was on it at the time. I was on it at the time. It's like, no, I don't. No, put it down. And, just sharing about it right now, man, is like, how it affects not just me, other people around me, especially Anita.
What do we say? The pebble in the pond?
Yeah, the ripple effects.
You got it, buddy.
Me and Sadie, my fiance, both of us are completely turned out on YouTube right now. And both, like, at certain periods of the day, we'll look at each other from our phones and just start shaking our heads like, oh, fuck, this is so bad, dude.
Yeah.
It's so bad. And neither one of us can do, I can't do it for her. She can't do it for me. It's like, I have to be okay with whatever that looks like for her and just stop if I want to stop. And I don't want to fucking stop, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Literally, my hand goes to my phone. I'll put it down and be like, oh, Jesus Christ, my brain hurts, dude. I can't do this anymore. Yeah. And I'll be sitting there for 10 seconds. Next thing I know, my phone's in my hand. I'm like, researching, ChatGPT, YouTube, this, that, Discord.
All of that.
I need more information. I need to process everything.
Yeah, and then your head hurts after a while, man. It's like, damn.
Eyes hurt.
Yeah. You wonder why your mind's
damn,
so bad.
And
it just goes to show how much, how much, for me, how addiction affects every area of my life.
Yeah.
Right? I think it creates an emotional and spiritual disconnect for me. I feel more disassociated. I feel disconnected from Sadie, from engagements in person, because it consumes so much of my brain that I don't leave any space. I'm all here. Everything's here. Mm-hmm. There's nothing in this area going on because I'm all here.
Yeah. Josh is saying here as in his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not in my heart.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all up there, and I feel that, man.
Can I ask you, when I see you at home group on Tuesday, you're going to come up to me and you're going to say, you know what, Kevin, I deleted Facebook.
I'm going to say, Kevin,
I really tried.
I will see Tuesday.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's just. I'm gonna hold you accountable, brother.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. I like missing out. I guess I don't know, man. I don't need some,
I think the
garbage. I'm looking at it on there.
The saying that you hear for drugs is the same for any form of the disease taking shape. Is once the pain of remaining the same is greater than the pain of change, we will surely change.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when
When
you're done, you'll be done.
Yeah,
Well, I just saw the
and
pain
that
in
should
your
have been,
eyes.
That should have been pain for me. You know what I mean? That should have been. Back when she told me that, and I shared that with my sponsor, and he's like, "Ooh, you know what you need to do then." And it's like going back and telling my kids I'm going to stop using, and I'll go back to hitting the pipe again. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and I guess just small periods of abstinence. 5 seconds. You know how they say with the drug. Just 5 seconds
Sit
at a
on your
time,
hands.
10 minutes at a time. Start there, man. And I think I'm going to give that a try, man. I'm going to. I've said it before, and now I'm saying it on a wider audience. I think I'm going to give it a try and check in and.
There's
See
an
what it
option
is, man.
on all the platforms that the podcast is on for listeners to send in a comment or text or something,
Yeah.
and so I'm hoping somebody that listens to this, they check in a couple weeks after this airs,
Yeah.
and they go, "Well, did Gabe
How's he
delete
doing?
Facebook
'Cause
yet?"
He's lying. I seen him on there. But I'm gonna give it an honest try, man. And
I think the question. I mean, really, the simplest version of this is like, do you want to be done? And then you figure that out for yourself,
Yeah.
and then
it's like everything else. Do you
Yeah.
want it?
Yeah.
You want to do it?
I think
Yeah.
we like Josh and other sponsees, we've had conversations like, I keep doing this, I keep going back to this, and like the big picture, if you're looking at it, we're addicts. So that one thing that they keep going back to, I said, so you relapsed, taking away the drug, but there's this other drug
Yeah.
that you're
Yeah,
on.
you can't call Kevin and tell him I'm obsessing on this thing or I'm doing this thing repetitively because then it's a drug. And then you're going to be held accountable.
Well, it is. It is. Whenever that
can be,
dopamine
man.
hit, exactly
It
what
can
Josh
be. Yeah,
said.
what he was talking about. It can be, man. It can be. It's just another manifestation of this disease that I have. And
Yeah.
it affects any area of my life.
Dude, I get it when I'm on Amazon,
Yeah.
and I put stuff in the shopping cart and I'm about to click that button like buy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It's
Well,
just-
I'm fucked up on the phone too, so I feel you, brother.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, man. It's
yeah.
Let's move on to fears.
okay.
All right.
Fears. Any fears that you remember from early stages of getting clean, and then any fears that you're currently dealing with?
I'll give you a common one for a lot of us when we first get clean. Fear of failure.
Fear of failure. Yeah, that's
the most common one we hear.
It is, man. There's fear of failure, which that also gets me into not wanting to start anything new, right? I don't want to. You don't want to start nothing, man. I've always had this dream of owning my own little taco stand, man.
Fuck, I would be there every day.
And I've shared that,
Hell yeah.
man.
I fucking love tacos.
I've shared that, and it's like, man,
Man, tacos sound good, dude.
I tried to, we tried to build up, some savings to start doing that, man. And then something happened, man. Our cars, something happened. Our cars, the transmissions, man, it was crazy. And then I was like, oh man, now I got to start over. And because, like I said, I just started in the workforce 10 years ago, right? I didn't have anything when I got here, so I'm building it, and then something happens. But now it's like, man, when I got to a point and I was almost ready to do it, and it was like had this fear, man. Like, man, what if this doesn't work?
It's normal.
What if this don't work? What if I get humiliated by saying I'm going to start this thing, man? And I think that's the fear I still have today is fear of being humiliated, fear of failure, man. That's awesome.
It all
That's
wraps
the
up
point.
into that.
All
He's
wraps
killing
up
two
into
birds
that,
with
man.
one stone, dude.
You
Just
know?
first and then and now.
Yeah.
And it's still here with me, man.
Is it
now
is it showing up in any other ways other than the taco stand or taco truck or whatever?
as far as
Fear of failure.
fear of failure.
Yeah. Anything else you're scared of?
I've got an honest fear of retiring, right? Because
How are you
can't
going to retire?
right
Yeah.
now? There's no way I can.
Or how are you
afford-
gonna live?
You know
Yeah.
how I'm going to live, man. You know, I'm just hoping what am I going to work till I drop dead or something? You know what I mean? And that's where it all comes together because okay, maybe I need to start this thing so I can you know what I mean. It's
Yeah.
just fear of the unknown. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
man.
but
I
you're
don't
saying
know what
that
I'm
you
gonna
haven't been in the workforce, so you haven't built up any Social Security,
Yeah, man.
right? So when it's time to retire, you're not going to be
I'm not
bringing in
gonna.
enough
I can't.
per month.
I
Yeah,
can't. And you know,
that is scary.
it's an honest fear that I have, man. And what am I going to rely on my kids to take care of me, or you know what I mean? And you know, but I just take it day by day. But also, I have to learn I got to start planning something. I should have. I mean, I have planned something, but it's just not going fast enough for me.
Right?
And you know, so that's an honest fear that I have today.
Yeah, I want to tell a quick story.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I met Gabe, my friend Jeremy and I were going to outside meetings outside of our area, and so we went down into SAC to a meeting, and we're sitting there. There's like 45 or 50 people in this meeting, and
What
somebody.
meeting is it?
I can't remember.
It was
like
Rebels, I think, or was it Rebels with a Cause?
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah.
And the guy somebody shared the meeting, and then during discussion, Gabe was sitting at a table next to us, and Gabe goes, he was talking about like the rewards, and he goes, like I personally, I don't say, the icing on the cake, I say the salsa on the taco. Right? Jeremy and I looked at each other, and we looked at Gabe, and I go, I'm going to be his friend. This fucking guy is cool.
Still thinking about tacos.
I always,
Yeah.
man. Always.
Yeah.
It's just one. It's
It's
a great thing.
the salsa on the
It's
taco.
the salsa on the taco, man, that makes the taco. Yeah.
That's cool.
What consequences? Any consequences that you're dealing with today from using? The common ones are like,
Of course, the retire. I got to keep going back to the retirement thing, man. There's a consequence that I have, and now I don't really know for sure, but my health, I don't know. I haven't been to a doctor, man, since getting clean or forever. Last time I was in a doctor's was I had my appendix, but I was using them, right? And my health, I'm starting to get a really strong fear of the consequences of not being in pretty good health, man. We were discussing about this apnea that I have. I'm pretty sure, and I'm really fearful of leaving my girl, man. And when I could have done something about it, man.
yeah, you just got to do it, man.
Just have to get it taken care of, man.
And the only way to do it is to do it.
Yeah.
And the sooner you start the process, the more freedom you'll get from it. Because sometimes health stuff takes a while, you know.
Yeah.
And it'll catch up. I'm younger than you are. I'm like 20 years younger than you, and it's catching up with me now. So don't put it off.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Those are some serious consequences, man, that are affecting me right now. Yeah.
So, yeah, and having no insurance sure pays.
Yeah. I get it.
a lot
I
into
canceled it that I had because this new job that I started. I was going to go through them, but now they're changing hands, and I don't know what's going to happen there. So I'm just going to Monday find some individual health care plan somewhere.
Yeah. That's cool. I mean, even I don't even know anything about healthcare nowadays, like the cost.
Shit, I have
I'll find
Medi-Cal.
Medi-Cal, their California.
Covered California.
Covered California, California
You
partnership.
also get Kaiser too. So
Just go find
there
out their
are
plans.
options. Yeah. So we covered resentments. right?
Yep. Resentments, reservations,
and
fears, consequences, assets. Assets.
Those are always hard for me.
It's
They're hard for a lot of us. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was going to
Not
say it's
alone.
hard for all of us, but
Yeah.
I'd like to put it on me. For me, it's really hard unless someone tells me. Even when someone tells me, "Hey, you're good at this," or "Hey, you look all right," or anything that's an asset to me, I still kind of cringe. Like not cringe, but
Well,
like
what
feel
are
like,
some assets that people tell you?
man, that I'm good to get along with. I'm a great worker. And I don't see it. I'm just doing my job. But I still cringe when people give me
Compliments.
So you're
compliments.
friendly,
or
hardworking.
Friendly, hardworking guy. Easy to get along with. I guess that would be friendly. And I'm helpful. And I still feel weird when I say that stuff about me. I don't know, man. I'm always. What I do know is that I'm always willing to help somebody.
Yeah.
Willing to give them a hand. At work, it's like
So like caring.
yeah, caring. Work. I work with the homeless community, and a lot of people I work with aren't in the program, right? Whatever, and they're just so mean to them, and I'm like, hey, they're having a bad day, and I'm just really willing to help them out,
Caring, loving,
supportive, and yeah, I still don't sound like me, but I guess that's me. And once I take a look at that and start to see start to feel that for myself, man, that's where my self-esteem grows a little bit more. You know what I mean? And I just those are some of the assets that I'm told I have. I don't that I'm and if and we say people see our change in us by the way we live our lives, right? And those people never seen me before, but they just they obviously something's changed for me because
Right.
I've never been told that before. So and I'm starting to believe it a little bit, but it's still cringy when I hear people give me compliments. Man.
I have a question around that. Maybe or just an observation, but so the self-talk that goes on in your head when somebody's complimenting you and you cringe and you tell yourself, yeah, I don't believe you. Maybe is that something that you got from like growing up? Like, were you told like you're a problem or you're not good enough or anything along those lines?
We weren't really told that anything negative or nothing, but we just never heard any positive. I just never heard any positive things about you. You're doing a good job or good, all right. That's I don't ever remember hearing any of that.
Yeah.
Growing up, but it's
So
not.
is there you don't feel those things about yourself, so when somebody tells you that, you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
It's not necessarily a story that you're telling yourself in your head. It's just a feeling out of
it's uncomfortable
Yeah.
for me because I'm not used to hearing that. I never heard it a lot, and I don't know if it was a longing to hear it, and then when I did, I didn't like it, or who knows? I just it's uncomfortable for me, and it also depends on who's saying it, but yeah, man, it's really weird to hear that people tell me, yeah, you're doing good, or you're such a good person, or because I never heard that.
In your story, I've noticed, just from where we started and where we got now, I've noticed that there's some instances of abuse or trauma that you don't recognize, and that's very common that people will just like brush off something in their childhood or growing up and go, well, that was normal, but what you were just saying about you weren't told that you were a horrible person or you weren't told that you're doing a great job either. So the lack of nurturing from your parents is can be like systemic trauma because every child needs nurturing, and that's just something that I've learned over the last 5 to 10 years about trauma.
Yeah.
We just did a whole episode with trauma therapist.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah, it
and she
makes
explains a
sense.
lot about how it rolls into addiction because we didn't get our nurturing as a child, so we sought that in other ways.
Basically, whether your parents loved you or not, or whether they showed you that they loved you or not in their eyes, if you didn't feel loved as a kid, it can carry on.
Yeah,
it carries on.
That's the thing. I mean, I felt it. I mean, I felt love, but I just never heard. You know, I don't know if that makes sense. I just never heard it.
Yeah.
I've never, they weren't the huggy type of people
nurturing
that I am today. I mean, like we adopted a kid, Vitaly, and I make sure he knows it every day.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm tearing up, but I don't know. I didn't get what he's getting, as far as,
That's all right, man.
That's badass, though. That's cool.
It is, and that reminds, I've said this before too, is I had a sponsor that told me, I had a fucked up childhood, and my sponsor told me to raise your kids the wish you were raised as a child.
So, yeah, that's what I'm doing with them. And there wasn't physical. There was no abuse or none. It was just, I think, just the emotional thing.
The lack of emotion.
The lack of it.
Yeah. And that's trauma.
Ooh.
If you didn't
so
know,
I've been traumatized. Yeah. And it's I'm joking about it, but I kind of looking at it that way.
Well,
now.
It shapes the way we grow up.
Oh yeah, for sure. I see that now.
Yeah.
And I didn't, Vitaly went through some things, with his family, and I just wanted to show him, you are loved, and just through the program, man. It's like, this is what we do, man. We change as people, and we become more loving and tolerant and stuff like that. Not perfect. We just become a little bit more better than we were before, and that's awesome to me. Yeah.
Yep. So you're breaking the cycle.
Yeah. Yes.
I like it. So all of the reservations.
You got through your assets. Good job.
Yeah, that is cool. So how are you showing your gratitude today?
Oh man.
In recovery.
Today, man, gratitude, man. I just keep doing what the program tells me to do, man. That's how I show my gratitude, man. Just to keep doing the steps, man. Keep becoming a better person, and to show the next person coming in, man, this is the life that's possible.
So you're setting a good example.
I try to set good examples for not just people who are new in recovery, man, but out there in the world as well. Because I really believe that Narcotics Anonymous is for the room. Helps us. We learn in the rooms how to treat, how to live, how this new way of life.
Yeah.
But it's also important that we take it out into the world, and try to show them that we're not just these drug addicts, like what I envisioned when I was a drug addict when I was younger. You know what I mean? That
we changing
can change
the stereotype outside the rooms. Yeah, that's awesome.
We can change that stuff, and the people that I work with don't even know that I used to use, and it's and they call me good people, and my first thought is, man, you just don't know.
If
only
I would
they steal
knew,
all your
right?
shit right now if it was laying out back in the days, and so that's how I like to show my gratitude, man. Is by continue doing what I'm doing, and and sharing my life with people, just like I'm doing today, man.
That's
just
awesome.
Share that there's another way, and we're here to help.
That's very cool. I'm just curious, and it's neither here and there. Not a lot of people fall into this niche. Are you sponsoring anybody?
No, I haven't sponsored.
Is that something you want to do?
Oh yeah. I don't know if I don't know. I started sponsor guys, and they just fall off, and
That's normal.
That's normal. They do what they want, but as of late, I mean, I haven't had any takers, man. I haven't sold myself, I guess. I don't know.
No,
it's just I haven't had enough take. No one, nobody's asked, and I'm maybe I just maybe it's God's will,
Yeah.
not
No,
my
it's-
time yet,
it's- It's not a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah.
So, like I said, some people have fallen into it, and
Yeah.
like you're pretty quiet person, reserved, and so not a lot of people will hear you
Yeah.
at meetings and stuff. But I know you well enough to know that you would make a great sponsor.
No, thank you.
Yeah, definitely, because you have that good heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Something that we wanted to add, we had a couple of comments from listeners about tying all of this stuff that we talked about into like what's some positive things that you've learned or about your own personal recovery, or what's the good things that have changed in your life because of working the step.
The fourth step.
Fourth
Yeah.
step. Well, it's 'cause I got to know me. I got to know literally, what makes me tick, right? What makes me the person I am today. And my sponsor says, and it's in literature, I think, if he said it, is that the fourth step is the most loving thing we can do for ourselves, right? That
Yes, it does.
take a look at ourselves, and because we think we're these bad people when we get here, right? We're these monsters, and once we find out that we're just sick, man, we just have this disease that consumes every part of our lives, man, and once we learn about the things that we've done in the past, man, and bring them out to the light, then we can start to forgive ourselves, right? That's the biggest. That was the biggest. What was your question? The biggest.
Like positive.
The biggest positive thing. The best outcome I had in this program was to forgive myself for all the shit that I've done.
It really is such a powerful process. 4 and 5 are
heavy.
fucked, especially the first round. If you're thorough,
Yeah,
fuck.
it is. Because,
Yeah, I remember
and then-
all that feeling of like, I am fucking way fucked off. There is no coming back from this. I'm a piece of shit. I'm
Yep.
monster. You said
Yep.
like whatever the dialogue was, like all that, and then you do the step, and maybe like your sponsor shares some fucked up shit with you
Yep.
too, and it's like, oh,
You're not alone.
Yeah.
maybe I'm not a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yep. And just realize
I just made bad choices.
Yeah.
And I'm all right.
Yep.
It's
had
okay.
This disease. I was
Yeah.
sick.
I'm a fucking drug
Yeah.
addict.
Yeah. I was sick, and I think that's the most positive thing for me today. And in finding all that stuff out, man, I'm able to start forgiving myself, and then and all the steps come right in order. You forgive yourself. That's where I started, man. Forgiving myself for where I was at, man. And this is a pretty good show, man. And I don't think I've cried. For those of you that don't see, I'm tearing up a little bit. And this process, I get to move on to the next steps and start forgiving others. And
It is. I love the domino effect
it is
of the steps.
Yeah.
And when they say like work them in order, it's for a reason.
for a reason.
I'm a very, very logical, and I analyze the fuck out of everything person. And I thought, I did not believe in the steps. I just didn't want to go back to prison. And I worked I was like, finally, was in this pattern of a couple months drink, a couple months do this, a couple months chaos, a couple months. And eventually I was like, fuck it. This is stupid, but I'm going to try it because nothing else is working.
Yeah.
And I did 1, 2, and 3. And then I was thorough. I was honest. If I was going to do it, I was going to do it to the best of my ability. Didn't feel nothing, fully convinced that it's not going to work for me. Did 4 and 5 and was sitting there and just having a full-blown spiritual awakening.
Yep.
Like reading through the steps on the traditions or reading through it on the, it works how the steps in order, reading it logically seeing like, oh shit, this prepared me for that, prepared me for this. And then this is not just some random shit somebody put on a piece of paper. Like they put some thought into this.
Yeah.
This is in an order for a reason. And these people that did this are probably smarter than me. Like
those pesky alcoholics.
Yeah, this might work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the same way, man. It's the same way. How could this stuff even work for me? And it's just once I, it was honest, open-minded, and willingness, with those we are well on our way, all that just opens up, man. And the person I am today is what really is the rewards that you're talking about, man, because I'm able to forgive myself today, and I'm able to just accept who I am and what I've done, but also accept my recovery, right? I'll accept my recovery.
Oh yeah.
And know that I'm not a bad person, man. I was just a sick person, man, and I'm not perfect, and I stumble all the time on things, man. But I have ways to learn how to get through that stuff, man, and most importantly, not get high. And I think that is the most important thing for me, man, is to get through these things. And it's they're written in a certain way, man, and I understand why. And the fourth step just opened it up for me. And once I got to understand, that I was just a sick person and not a totally bad person, man, and start to, there's the door opened up a little bit to say, to not to hate myself so much, right? Because all the time that I realized, man, I was really hating myself for what I've done in the past, man. And once that stopped, man, I could start, just begin to start loving myself, right? Start loving myself, because I think that's the most important thing for me, because I really hated myself when I got here, man.
Yeah. I mean, your process is very unique to you, but there's so many similarities with other people that I could tell you, and I'm sure Josh would say the same thing.
I related the whole time.
Yeah, but we've done 50 of these episodes, and there's more similarities than there are differences in everybody that we come across. So,
all right. And that's how this program works, right?
Yeah.
The similarities. We all think we're different. We all think our story is special, but it all comes down to the how we feel inside, man. That's how we relate to each other. These feelings and emotions, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of stories.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I was gonna because sometimes we've forgot over the last few episodes. What about your spirituality?
Spirituality.
Yeah, I mean, we're not in a meeting, so if you want to talk about what spiritual path?
What's your higher power?
My higher power is God.
When you say God, does it have a specific denomination like Christianity or?
No.
Okay.
I used first was something when I read it out of the literature, man. Something caring, loving, and greater than myself. That's how I picture my God, right? And growing up, I went to Catholic school, and that was a punishing God, right? Mm-hmm. You do this, and you're going to hell with some,
fire and brimstone,
all that stuff, and you got to go repent and all this other stuff before, and that was scary, man. And I had to, watch what I did, and it especially started after using. I thought, I'm going to hell for sure. May as well go all the way, and so and coming back and this concept of God for me. All that I had to do was realize it was loving, caring, and greater than myself. And I rely on this God, not just when times are bad. I was at first, but just waking up and saying, hey, thanks for, especially after my little apnea situation that happened. But it's like, I wake up and I'm saying, thanks for another day. Thank you so much. And it works, man. And a bad day doesn't necessarily mean he put it there for me. It's just, it's just, God is just one of those things I could lean on when I am having a bad day. And there's a reading that happened last week. It was, this is not a test on for today, talking about, why does God test me this way? Right. And, and it's not a test, man. It's just life. Life happens, and I have to be prepared for how it, for anything that could happen. and I rely solely on God, man. This is a God of my understanding here that I rely on.
So you would
and
say
lean on.
your God is just like a generic. You're using the word to describe what you believe in.
It's
Yes.
it's a thing that's there.
It's something that's there that's always been there. I just never tapped into it.
Cool.
Like I got here, you know.
Right on. I like how simple that is for you.
Yeah, it's something.
Simple. It's really simple, man.
I got a God. It's something.
It's
It's
gotta be
something. I got a
simple.
something God.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
gotta be
funny
simple,
because
man.
you're looking up into the sky, you know?
Yeah.
I do that sometimes. Like when I'm talking with people and they go, this amazing thing in the turn of events, how something comes out, and I would say like, well, somebody had a plan for you. I've said that so often, and I would like look up, and I don't believe in that deity that's up in the clouds or whatever. But I went to Catholic schools too, right? And I'm not Catholic, never was Catholic. But I learned, like to look up into the heavens and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just,
something
reflex.
Yeah, it's what's out there.
So
it's what's out there, man.
But I thought that was interesting that we look up when somebody talks about God, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm looking up.
Yeah.
My God doesn't live up in the clouds.
They're everywhere, man. I look at it like, the same one God that was there for me all the time, because I was in some situations where I don't know where I got out of that alive.
Yeah, me too.
And it's like, it wasn't something that was, that was a big gang fight for me or something like that. It was just a certain situation where there was some crazy people around, and and it's like, how did that person not get out of it, and not was able to get out of it, man. And I think it's that same God that was waiting for me to get here.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. All right. Story time?
Yeah. Yeah. Tell us a story.
Oh man.
I give you a little heads up, But
Could be
something-
funny. Could be a God shot. Could be crazy. Whatever.
As
Anything's
long
good.
as it's true, right?
Yeah. As long as it's true. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Using story, or just any story, or what? You guys
Sure.
anything that's really, really
When you
cool.
think of like something that like stands out, like an experience that stands out in your life, like, wow, that was crazy, or wow, that was trippy, or wow, that was funny, or
I'll go back to that to when I got that gun charge. It was I had a friend who was selling drugs, man, and he was we were just rolling around West Sac, man, and and he had a little his mirror on his door. He had took it out and put a little Velcro thing and shoved his dope in there, and then put it back the mirror, right? So he had a little hiding
on the
spot.
outside of the car?
Yeah, so he had a
that's
little
slick.
hiding spot, and we're taking off somewhere, and he's like, "Man, so I said, "I'll hold it. The gun. I'll hold it. Just
You said that?
yeah, I'll hang on to it." And so we were gonna just have we're just gonna go out and stay up all night tweaking, and well, we got pulled over in West Sac, and I'm like, "Oh shit," and because there's a story about these West Sac cops, and well, all cops, but West Sac cops at the time.
Wasn't there a task force, like a special task
It was
force?
called YoNet, yeah.
Yeah.
And but this is just the street cops. They pulled up on us for some reason. They came out guns drawn on, and like,
shit.
man, we were just parked in a parking lot. Like, what's going on here? And I'm gonna find out there's a gas station across the street that had been robbed at gunpoint, right? And of course, I fit the description, right? And
Another form of racism?
I don't know what it was, man. They get out of the car, they got him out, and they put him, and then I had it in my pocket, and I'm like, oh shoot, don't move, right? With guns drawn on you, don't move. And I'm like, I'm not gonna move. So I get out of the car, and they were telling us why, what's going on with us, and they put him in the car, and of course they didn't find it. He had his dope stashed, and I'm over here with this loaded weapon in my pocket. And it was just a little small 22 that fit in my pocket, right? It was a 22 Magnum revolver, and man, it's pouring down rain, man, and they search me and they come down and what's this? And I told them it's a gun, and they mentioned gun on the radio, right? And more come out of the woodworks. I couldn't believe how many came out, man. I was just scared as shit. And they all draw on the gun. And he's telling me this is words. He say, if you got a gun, I'm blowing your fucking brains out. I'm like, well, what do you want me? It is a gun. I mean, but don't blow my fucking brains out. I mean, what do you want me to do? Right, and that you see your life flash before your eyes. You heard that before.
If you
like,
flinched,
holy
man,
shit.
they would take you out.
So I'm wondering, what I'm telling them, yelling at them, please, what do you want me to do here? So and it's coming down pouring rain, man, and of course they just throw me on the ground, and the whole. I mean, I'm soaking wet already, and they sit me on the cart, and they get in their car, and I'm just sitting out there in the rain, and. While they're doing their thing in their cars, and I'm sitting out there pouring rain, man, and I was so soaked when I got to jail that day, and this whole time the funny thing I remember, man, when can I stop? When can this end so I can go get high?
You're thinking
God,
about that
I remember
mirror.
that feeling,
Right?
dude.
That's the
feeling.
only thing I was scared for a second right there when they were all drawn on me, but then after that it was like, man, when's this gonna end so I can go get high?
Yeah, got a bunch of dope in the mirror, dude.
Yeah,
I gotta go get loaded.
I could just tell Gabe's thinking about the mirror.
Yeah,
I got to get back to the mirror.
Yeah, when is this going to end so I can get high, man? We spent a few hours in jail, and then they released us in Woodland, and we forget how we got home, but that was the only thing on my mind, man.
Did you get the dope out of the car?
Oh yeah, we went straight to it. They towed it, but we had to, he had to get it out. But that's and that was just. It was just after thinking about stuff, and that's the only thing that I thought about, man. And I was telling my friend, hey, that's so, all the time we spend in there, man, I just want to get high, And it's like, he's like, you're crazy. You got a gun charge already. You're looking at a loaded concealed weapon, probably prison time, and you're worried about getting high. I go, come on, just hurry up, man. And that's. How powerful this damn disease
You
was.
have a problem, Gabe.
I might have had a little problem back then, but you couldn't convince me then, though. But that's just one. That's a story. One of the stories, man. I mean, all these stories, all the stuff that happened to me when I was using, man, all the bad things. I realized today is nothing was worse than the way I treated myself, man. I look back at that and I'm like, man.
I was having flashbacks, at multiple times during this episode, of just horrible positions I got myself into, and the pain, like reliving the pain, and I kept having to bring myself back because I don't know, something you would say would trigger some phase in my life, and I'd drift off and be like, oh shit, and then have to bring myself back to the conversation.
So a lot of similarities
tons
with
of
Gabe?
them. Yeah, tons of them.
Similarities, man.
The self-worth stuff.
Yeah.
And just trying to find something somewhere. Then the somethings and somewheres that I went. If I think about them still, I was getting emotional during the podcast just because of where my head was going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
man. It's tears of gratitude nowadays,
For sure.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing to actually feel gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
To experience the feeling of gratitude. It took me fucking 7 years of being in and around the rooms till one day I was like, am I feeling gratitude right now? It was just a word that had a definition that I knew because I've done step work.
Yeah.
And then one day I was like, I felt it and I was like, holy, and I knew, I was like, that's gratitude.
Yeah.
Holy
For sure,
shit.
Man. For sure.
Wow.
Yeah. That's feeling that. And when I was introduced to Gratitude Tuesdays, man, it was the perfect meeting for me because, it's gratitude, man, and you practice that daily. I try to practice it daily, man. And when I went and experienced the Gratitude Tuesday,
yeah,
Kevin invited me out there, and and realized the focus of gratitude, man. It's like, man, I think this could be my home group. It was awesome, pretty awesome.
That's cool. I remember you showing up to the meeting the first time. I think, did I ask you to share first?
Yeah, you called me out there.
Yeah.
You called and asked if I would come out.
Because I wanted the salsa on top of the taco.
Yeah, he said, come on out. Yeah.
Tacos,
yeah,
dude.
and then he enticed me with, we go out to dinner after. I was,
Yeah.
okay, I'm there.
Alberto's. You still go to Alberto's?
We go everywhere.
Yeah, we
You
rotate.
change it up?
Yeah, we rotate
Yeah.
everywhere.
So, yeah, man, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and you know what?
Gratitude Tuesdays. I was thinking of the Journey Within.
Oh, Journey Within. Yeah, we still go there.
Yeah.
The fact that this is something about you and your wife's personalities is that you guys like are like somewhat quiet, reserved and very, very mellow, but you fit in with the group because of your kindness and that you care, and the people that go to that meeting are of the same caliber person as you and your wife.
Yeah, we feel really comfortable there from the first time we went. It was just the whole atmosphere.
Welcoming.
And welcoming.
Yeah.
And the topic. It was just, and at the time, of course, I'm old. 6:30 is perfect for me. I get home, and not to put any meeting down because meetings, but there's some meetings just have some chaos in them while they're going on, and it's hard to pay attention. I mean, not to say that I'll be run out of meetings, but it was just really calm. It was no chaos in the meeting over there,
Right.
And that's just the personality of those meetings, and they're great meetings. But it's just we found a home over there, and it's just pretty awesome.
I used to attend all the chaotic meetings. In fact, to be honest with you, I was part of the chaos for many years. And I mean, people just change.
Yeah.
And those meetings that are very chaotic in social clubs, or dog and pony shows, or whatever you want to call them,
Meat markets.
they keep people clean.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. That's why I say
I got nothing against
it's
them.
working for some people.
Yeah.
It's working for them.
That's what it always comes back to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, well, you go to one of those meetings and there's like 60 people in there and it's dysfunctional and not a whole bunch of recovery, and you leave and it's like, that was fucking rough.
Yeah.
But there was 60 people in there clean tonight.
Yeah.
Like, that's tight.
Yeah. That's what it's about, man.
Yeah, as long as I can get out of my own self, judgment of others. Exactly what Josh said.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. If I could just focus on the message, man, and what's going on, what the purpose of it is. I mean, Anita's kind of like, oh, I can't go there no more. But sometimes I'll go by myself and meet my sponsor at one of them or whatever. But
as time passes, we find out what we need different stuff.
Yeah.
We need more different change. Like, it just changes over time.
Yeah. And that's what I found that through this program too, man.
I got nothing against the Broderick group meeting.
No,
I won't ever go back.
You
won't ever go back unarmed. Right.
I don't want to get shot. You guys are brave, dude.
Yeah.
I don't got nothing against it. I won't ever go there again, but God bless them.
Yeah. They're what's the word? They're not suffering. What's the word? They're not doing too good right now, but
struggling.
Anyway, they're struggling, but But anyways, it's a
meeting struggle.
Meeting struggle. They've been around a long time.
Sometimes they die.
They're refusing to die. There's two people that that always doing the same thing all the time, and that's good. I mean, but that was your first experience with Broderick.
Yeah,
I didn't remember until you mentioned. Yeah,
it was interesting. Like the places that I ran, as a teenager, there were some bad places, right? There's guys crawling around in the bushes with a sharpened screwdriver in their mouth, waiting, trying
ready to go,
sneak up on somebody to stab them. But like when I moved up to this area.
Kevin says guy, he means I was crawling around in bushes with sharpened screwdriver.
I was not that guy. I was the other one.
There was people, not me people, some people. I've heard of stories.
I didn't get caught with the gun. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But there's, like there's reputations. I don't know if it's unfortunate. I don't want to say that word. That doesn't sound right. But there's reputations about like areas. Mm-hmm. And when I hear people say like, I got clean in North Sac, I'm like, oh, well, North Sac has a rough reputation. Mm-hmm. And for that split second, I judge the reputation.
Yeah.
But my wife and I were down in Southern California. We were down in Palm Desert visiting my parents one time, and we wanted to go to a meeting, and the meeting was in Indio, which is a couple towns over, and I knew nothing about it. But as we're getting closer and closer, like from fucking $1 million homes to the ghetto, right? It was the barrio.
Yeah.
And so we're in the barrio, and we get to this big rehab center in the middle of the neighborhood. And I'm like, yep, this is right. This feels good. This is where I belong right now.
Yeah.
This is where our
also
people
the best
are from.
tacos are in barrios too.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, dude, I got some good salsa.
Yeah. So yeah, man.
All right.
Pretty awesome stuff.
Well,
man.
cool.
We appreciate you coming out, man.
I love this.
Thanks for
this
being
was
open,
good, man.
and honest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm so grateful that you felt comfortable enough to cry here.
Sure. Oh yeah. I've learned that.
That shows the authenticity in it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Right on. Well, I love you, my friend.
I love you too, man.
Yeah, I love you.
Love you, man.
Thanks everybody for listening. Love you guys.
Thank you for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate you being here and being part of this community. Just a quick heads up before we wrap. The people we talk to on this show are just sharing their own personal stories. They do not speak for any specific recovery program or group. It's just their experience, strength, and hope. Well, that's it for now, and please remember that you can follow us on any of your streaming platform that you listen to. And somewhere in there, on that streaming platform, there is a donate button if you care to help out with our monthly fees that we have to pay to produce each episode. And there's a follow button. There's also somewhere on your streaming platform you can text us and send us a response or email or check-in. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you.